Hey, this is John Bollinger in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm with Michael League of Snarky Puppy. Michael, thanks for joining us, man.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
Man, love your work. 3-time Grammy winner.
Thank you.
That's a huge deal. If I had 3 Grammys, I would totally leave them on my amp just for all
I don't think it's big enough to...
Yeah. I would gloat. I would totally gloat. But I love your humble approach. That wouldn't have been mine. But let's start with this very sexy old P you're playing.
It's like a 59 P bass.
Wow, great.
That I found online. Some kind of like vintage dealer in Ohio, I think.
So you bought it without playing it, and it worked out.
Yeah, not generally the most intelligent.
Yeah, you know what?
Decision,
I've rolled the dice like that. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously called the guy and said, if I don't like it, can I send it back within a day? And he said, sure. You know? I mean, some people like buy a car, and I bought this. I live in New York. I don't need a car. So.
Yeah. Although it costs about the same.
I know cars that cost less.
Yeah. Well, very cool, man. Now, have you always been a P guy, or?
No, I was my first bass was actually a Warwick Corvette thumb fretless.
Wow, that I didn't expect that.
No, I know it was weird. And then I had like
nothing wrong with that.
No.
It just doesn't sound like Snarky Puppy.
Right.
To me.
Yeah. And then I got a 4-string Ken Smith, which I used for years.
Yeah, and those are great instrument.
Yeah, great. And we played a gig, Snarky Puppy played a gig many years ago with a band called Rudder, and Tim LaFave, who's actually probably my favorite bass player in the world. He was using this P bass with flats and like action that was like way off the thing, and my battery died or something right before the gig, and so I couldn't play the Ken Smith, so I had to use his bass. And I started playing, and I realized that because of the action, I could only play about 1/10 of the notes that I could on the Ken Smith.
Right.
And I noticed that when I did that, actually the whole band sounded better. So everyone was like, "Hey man, it sounded really good tonight." I was like, "Oh, okay, maybe I should put some thought into this."
Right.
So then I went and kind of went on the hunt for P basses.
Yeah. And
we were playing a gig in Greenville, South Carolina, and we walked into a pawn shop, and there was a '76 Maple natural P bass in there for $600 or $700.
Wow.
It was beat up. I mean, it was beat up, but I bought it and spent a couple $100 fixing it up, and then I just kind of had like the P bass sickness, affliction.
Sure.
And then since then, that's like kind of my thing. I have other basses too, but I have like a 59, a 65, the 76, and I have a 52 actually.
Wow. Yeah. Does the 52 have the telly headstock on it?
It does, yeah. It's called a Precision, but it has the telly. I mean, that was the second year of the electric bass. And I bought it in Nashville.
Oh, really?
At the Guitar Center here in Nashville. Sure. It was like on the top shelf, but some person making interesting decisions with their life ripped out like the priceless 52 pickup and put in an 80s EMG. Yeah. So it devalued the price of the bass by like 80%.
Perfect. Which is
I made it affordable. There's no way I would have bought it otherwise.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's the thing. Over the course of 60-some years, some shit's going to happen. So
yes, exactly.
So nonetheless, man, it's great that it happened because now you could afford it.
Thanks.
That is great, man. And I love this is the original pickguard, right?
Everything's original. Yeah.
Oh, just sounds killer.
Except the strings.
Speaking of strings, what do you run?
I just recently switched to Jim Dunlop MXR flats.
Sure.
Which are really beautiful, and the people there are super flexible, so if you want to change the gauge by like a small amount, you can do it. And so I actually have kind of like a heavier D and G string than our standard.
Oh, cool.